Hi, I'm Victoria with the Student Foundation, also known as Aggies Helping Aggies, and we're here talking with Angie Joens about Give Day and philanthropy. So Angie is with DVAR, which is Development and Alumni Relations. So can you tell us a little bit about your role in DVAR and overall, what role does philanthropy play at UC Davis?
Oh my gosh, well, I'm really excited to be here, Victoria. The role that I play is a group of 6 units who support the development operation. One of those really important units is annual and special gifts, which is the team that's planning Give Day. The role that philanthropy plays on this campus is fills the gap, right? So it is the tuition covers a certain amount, state funding is less than 10%, that covers a certain amount. And then there's all of these super generous people who had an incredible experience at UC Davis, whether they were an alum or a grateful patient or grateful client or a parent that's really happy with the experience their child had while going here. They give back and support. And so philanthropy really fills the gap.
So what is Give Day?
Give Day is our annual online fundraising initiative. So you've seen the big day of caring that they have all over the country. It's our version, it's UC Davis's version of it. We try to coincide it with Picnic Day every year. So this year it happens to be April 17th and 18th. It's about 36 hours. It kicks off at noon on the 17th and ends at 5 p.m. on the 18th. But it's a 36-hour opportunity to both raise money for really important things that you're interested in our university. And really, we have 150 or more challenges that people are going to find something they connect with. And they can make their gift go a little bit farther, which I think is really, that's kind of the fun part of the meeting the challenges and seeing them close.
Can you tell us what exactly a challenge is in terms of Give Day?
Ooh, yeah. Ooh, that's a great question, Victoria. Thanks for asking that. So we'll reach out to our donors who are really interested in very specific areas, whatever they're most passionate about. If it's study abroad, if it's the student pantry, if it's some specific research that's happening, like in pain relief, let's say. These donors will put up the front money. They'll say, I'll give $2,500, I'll give $50,000 to every donor who also gives to the same fund. And there's a certain number of gifts that they try to get. So they're trying to get 25, 50, 100 donors to support the same cause. And when that happens and you reach that certain number of gifts that are made, that unlocks that gift. So if I give $25 to the student pantry and I'm the 50th person to unlock that, $5,000 rolls into the Give Day totals, which just means your gift goes a little bit farther and it makes it a little more exciting, and it's kind of a gamification. It just creates kind of a sense of competition and excitement, and it helps our donors think about it up front. And it creates all of what we need for the day of to get people really excited that they can go find the area, the challenge that they're most interested in.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. I really like how it's sort of engaging, it's fun, it's like a good way to incentivize giving. And another great thing about that is that it's more about the number of donors and less about the specific amount they give. So it's not necessarily prohibitive, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think we had maybe 4,500 donors that supported us and joined us on Give Day. So our goal would be to try to get more this year, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and again, it's about the participation and not necessarily the amount.
Exactly, right.
Okay, how does the current COVID-19 situation impact this year's Give Day?
In a huge way, actually. Picnic Day, unfortunately, had to be canceled, which is such a bummer for so many reasons. For the students that planned it and that spent all this time doing this, for all the people that can't come back to our campus and see what's so incredible about it. So that's a bummer. The fact that, we have healthcare people working around the clock, and it's, without a break, making sure that we're all safe and secure. But what we've done with Give Day is we have decided to keep this campaign going, this fundraising initiative, this one day, because we're trying to create an experience to let the Aggies come together and help other Aggies. And we have created, a lot of generous donors have created some wonderful emergency funds, some challenge gifts to try to raise money for students that are kind of in this gap situation where maybe they've lost a job and so they need some help with income, or they need emergency housing situations. Many of you students got to go back home, but some had to stay here because they don't have a housing situation. We have another fund that a donor gave that is going to help people add more food for the pantry. So those students of ours that don't have food, that, we're making those available. There's even a really cool challenge gift related to the crisis that's taking care of all of our healthcare professionals. So those people that are working around the clock, we're raising money for those as part of Give Day, to raise money to help support them in lots of ways, food, groceries, childcare, anything that they might need this time. So it's really taken something that is a very fun and exciting campaign, and it's turned it into something that's bringing us all together. And we're really excited about how we've been able to repurpose it. And I think it's going to be wildly successful because we have really generous Aggies.
Yeah. So how does Give Day specifically help UC Davis students?
Well, as I said, our donors can create any kind of challenge to any area that's interesting, that they're passionate about. And so everything we do, of course, on our campus is for our students. So it can be very specific about scholarship support. Parents can support very specific things like security on campus. Some of the things that I'm most passionate about and that I like to support as a staff member at UC Davis is Aggie Compass, which is this amazing service that provides, again, emergency care for students. I forget how students need a little extra sometimes, blessed and taken care of, and I had, but I forget that other kids don't have that same opportunity. And so the fact that I can provide food for the food pantry makes me feel really, really good about myself and good about helping the students. And sometimes I even get to go volunteer there, which is even more exciting. You guys, the Student Foundation Committee, has created this and gets to award this Student Emergency Relief Aid. I think I got the letters right. But we call it the Sarah Fund. And again, it's for any kind of an emergency relief. So you lost your job, your battery went out on your car, anything that's sort of is keeping you from being a successful student on campus. We have been raising money for and have funds available to help these students stay in school, stay focused on their experience, stay focused on their education, and not worry about that roadblock that got in their way. So those are some of my favorite funds that we raise money for on Give Day.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of students don't know that these important resources for them are funded by donors and philanthropy. So I think it's really important to bring that to light. So how can students or anyone support Give Day?
Oh, well, they can do lots of things. Obviously, we'd love for them to make a gift, right? And it doesn't really matter the size of the gift. It's more about participating and being part of something. I love that hashtag that's out right now, Alone Together. This is an opportunity for us to come together as Aggies and on that day and really be a big community of people that are supporting. So support is one. Students are brilliant at using social media, way, way better than we are, people my age. And so if you can help get the word out and tell other people, tell your parents to get the word out, just really try to help us get a larger social media footprint. Again, part of this fundraising initiative is about raising money. It's a day of giving, but the other part of it is to tell people how awesome UC Davis is. how awesome the students are, how awesome our faculty are, how awesome the research is, like all the things that are happening at our vet school, all the amazing care that's happening at our health system. This is the opportunity to just have a day of just bragging and telling people all about UC Davis. So while we really care and we're raising money, we're also just trying to tell people that this is who we are, to use Chancellor May's, phrase that he puts on social media all the time. This is who we are, and we are doing all of these really amazing things. So that's, I think, the best way to get involved.
Definitely agree. And I'd like to reiterate, the size of a gift is not important. Many college students are not in a situation to make big, huge gifts that you might, normally associate with donors or philanthropy. But the more important thing is participating in the spirit of philanthropy.
Going out buying Starbucks, a couple of times a week, if you just don't for a week and put that towards the Sarah Fund, an emergency fund to help your fellow students, $10 makes a huge difference. That's groceries for someone. So you think of it in those easy to calculate kind of ways, it makes it seem a little more doable.
Definitely agree. So as a follow-up to that, students are paying tuition and they might not have the same kind of means as most donors, as I just mentioned. So can you go into more detail about ways that they can still be philanthropic?
Volunteer their time, get involved in an activity that's really important to you. Again, I love our Student Foundation Committee. I think that's one of the premier volunteer groups on campus, but there are so many other ways you can get actively involved in your campus. I think the students that are actively engaged on campus and giving to an area, whether it's their time or their talent, I think it's going to be those people when they go back out and have successful careers are going to remember so fondly their experience here on campus. So sure, our job is to raise money for the university, right? To take care of all of the things that need to be funded. But we also are looking for people who will volunteer now as a student and then maybe come back someday when they have a successful career and also volunteer and give back their time and their talent.
Definitely. Thanks for going into all the details about that. That's all the questions I have. So thanks for telling me about all those things.
Sure. It was fun.